3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Oh, wow. Professional. Little intro there, Knish. How do you like that? You and I had not seen that prior to just the last 30 seconds.
I was going to say, we got a professional intro, professional sponsor. We got the merch going, professional merch. I mean, this is a real life production now.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness. Obviously, that is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Knish, producer extraordinaire, Zach Phillips behind the controls. I'm merely Brad Powers. Before we get to the chat that's been anxiously awaiting out nearly a month, they were in at 7 a.m. I'm looking, I think that's Pacific time. They were in asking questions on the chat. So I'm not sure we'll get to everybody today. Keep in mind, we will be doing shows Monday, Fridays, and Saturdays now as the football season is finally here. Week 0 is finally here. We've been waiting for it. But before we get into any of that, in case you didn't check out our nine conference previews. It's not like we've been on vacation last month. We've just been doing different types of shows. We previewed every single conference. We went over at all 134 teams. So make sure you're checking that out. Now, if you haven't watched those yet, then this is going to be breaking news for you. We do have officially a sponsor. You can see the top of the screen there if you're watching this live. Hit the Books is now sponsored by FanDuel. And with football being back, and while this is a college football show, there's no better place to get in on the NFL action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Why? Because right now, all customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Let me repeat that. Right now, if you bet $5, you can get a 3-week free trial of the NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then you'll be able to watch every single regular season Sunday afternoon out of market game. I mean, I'm a guy who loves to watch as many college football games as I can. I think last I counted 400 plus from last season. There's only 272 NFL games, so you guys should be able to do that with the NFL Sunday Ticket. Also with FanDuel, you don't even have to leave the app to access real-time stats and data to help make you even more winning bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/hitthebooks to download America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/hitthebooks. Hit the Books is one word. Don't be spacing it out. I don't know if I know I'm getting the boomer age, but if you're a boomer out there, Hit the Books is all one word. That's FanDuel.com/hitthebooks. You must be 21 plus, 18 plus DC and present in select states. The offer does end September 22nd. After the 3-week free trial, the full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally. Cancel anytime. No free funds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg/help.com. Knish, you and I have been talking a bunch, but now we get to talk to our favorite group of people in the whole wide world, the chat.
I was going to say, I know the last conference preview episode, we're like, all right, going to be good. Not just you and I just chopping it up for 9 straight previews. Get the chat back in here. I know we have people lined up, ready to go. Hopefully we can get to as many as we can. Also, we got our new sponsor for a couple of these week 1 games has a couple of prices that are half point better than the market, and at least one that I'll be comfortable with giving out here. So, yeah, good to.
Wow, you're gonna fire right away.
We'll get right into it, firing away. But no, I think we can get right to it.
Well, we'll have at least a couple of best bets at the end of the show. Again, if you're watching the conference previews, I think we're up to, and then counting, obviously, we're doing shows all off season. I think we're over 50 bets that we've given out already. So while the other quote unquote, there you go, look at Zach has this up. And Zach, that is available for everyone to at least see.
Not yet. Not yet. Sorry. Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
This will be up after the show today.
After the show today. Okay, cool.
Yes.
After the show today, you guys can check out if you missed any shows, any bets, you can at least track them. A lot of the value's gone. So I know a lot of you did see it because we've literally been on this show and watched the odds move as we're doing the show. Let's not beat around the bush, though. I mean, Holt was in here at 7:11 my time, so that's 10 Eastern. He's in on the chat asking a question about Louisiana. That's why I love this show. I mean, we're just not talking LSU, Alabama. First question after a month is about the Raging Cajuns. There's an 8 under -140 available. Best bet territory. Wow, a lot of confliction on Louisiana in the marketplace. You and I bet under 8.5. There's some people that liked over 7.5. 8 might be the right number, although I will say I think 7's way more likely than 9. So I would, if that was the first number I saw was 8, I would be betting under. I don't know best bet because I made like 100 bets, but it would be a bet that I would make.
Yeah, it's a little, I mean, especially a little steep on the juice there at under 8.5, 140. But I agree with you totally in terms of, I think 7 is much more likely than 9. Just think Sun Belt with their schedule is pretty low. It's going to be hard for anybody to get to 9 or 10 wins in that conference. So, would lean the under there. I wouldn't put it in best bet territory.
And as you can see, FanDuel has 7.5 with the overjuiced a little bit there. I don't like the coach. So that's expecting a lot of a guy that's been under 500 to all of a sudden, boom, bang, get 9 wins. I don't see that. Let's keep it rolling. 20 MC20 in the chat. Love the conference previews. Thank you for that. Some of the G5 ones are now a couple weeks old. Any news out of camp for any team that drastically changes how you feel about them? Nah, I don't think. I mean, has there been any news? I mean, we've seen a little bit of market move against Texas because of their running back situation. We've seen a little bit of move against Notre Dame because of the left tackle situation there. But group of 5 level, I mean, there's been a bunch of starting quarterbacks named. I'll ask you, the surprise seems to be the Boise announcement.
Yep, that's right.
Does that change anything for you with Boise?
I do think it maybe puts a little bit of a ceiling cap on where I thought they could go. I mean, you were thinking if everything went to plan, Malachi Nelson comes in. He just couldn't get the opportunity at USC, 5-star number 1 guy. If he can't beat out Madsen, who, again, I think is a good player, not an NFL player, not a great talent, then it tells me, I mean, it just tells me Nelson can't play or right now for whatever reason that he's been a miss. And I think it would, I wouldn't say, like, if you're Boise and you're thinking our ceiling is undefeated, maybe win a playoff game.
Well, they're not beating Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think that comes down to, a level below that where you could still maybe go, 10-2, 11-1, win the Mountain West, get the G5 berth. But I don't think you can be this special team anymore because Matt's just not that level of player.
I think the floor could be a little higher. I think they must like this kid because, I mean, they were wanting to play him over Taylon Green last year at points.
Yeah.
I know I personally didn't see it myself, but he must be very consistent in practice. I didn't really do anything with their power rating. Hell, we don't know. Malachi Nelson just might suck. I mean, just might not be very good. So it might end up being, a decent positive. So I didn't touch anything there. I still think they deserve to be head and shoulders the best team in the Mountain West there. Mason Bryan in the chat. He got in. Yeah, you did get in early, about 6 hours before the show, Mason. Do y'all like the over 55.5 in the Ireland game? Saw it come down from 56.5 over the weekend. Let's talk that. It is week 0. Let's talk the big game of week 0. College game day is going to be there, so that'll be exciting to kick the morning off. And then there'll be a noon start there between Florida State and Georgia Tech. Pretty good matchup, honestly, to start off the season. A good conference game. Have you bet? I'll just blatantly ask you, did you bet side or total yet in this game? I think you took a little Georgia Tech about 3-4 months ago.
Yeah, I was going to say some Georgia Tech, not a big position or anything. Obviously, you couldn't get, it wasn't super liquid at the time. A little bit of Georgia Tech early was I think we talked on the show that we would hope it, maybe it would tick back. It did not tick back up. It ticked actually way down. And you'll see, I mean, if you're, I was going to say, this is one of the line. That is the only, I got the screen. I think that's the only 10.5 in the market, and it's got a little juice on it. But FanDuel, if you want some FSU, that is the best price.
FanDuel is the way to go. I'm waiting. I made it 12. So I mean, if it was a normal week, I'd say, yep, let's go Florida State. Week 1's a little different, where I need a little bit extra to make a bet. But I'm waiting to bet FSU. I want to lay the 10. because we ain't going back to 14 or anything like that.
Agreed. That would be the only side I'm looking at now. But it's same with you, where I'm not running to bet at 10.5. You know, I hope that it leaks. And you know what? When it's in that range now, and these games, especially these standalone games, I think trade so much. If you're paying attention, you know, have the bet stamp alerts on or any of that stuff, or have your FanDuel pulled out. Like, I think you'll see it hit at some point. Whether where it closes, you know, gave a little bit of margin, but I think you'll see 10, maybe a rogue 9.5 at some point. As far as the total, I recall you saying like the blue horseshoe was going to be like at some point, like this under was going to come back down because it's an outdoor, you know, field on that, and then they travel across the country and all that. I'll be honest with you, I would be looking to play back at some point. And
really,
I'm not dying to play. I figured it would come back down. But this is one I think we'll call it 54-ish around the buy price there, as looking to get back on some over position.
I think Georgia Tech's a dead nut over team. I'll tell you that. I like their offense. I mean, you watch a spring game. I mean, all first string, second string, third string, up and down the field. Walk-ons looking like Julian Edelman at their slot receivers. I mean, I don't think they figured it out. They got a new defense coordinator. I don't know if they got it figured out right away. I think Florida State can run the ball on this team. So, I can see that. I haven't bet it, though. That's crazy. I have not bet side or total yet. It's not a game that I'm not wild about betting as of right now. That can change. Let's keep it rolling here. Now, Brendan, we did address the Boise quarterback news. So hopefully that question's answered for you there. Charles in the chat. Hey, good to have you back, Charles. One of our good longtime listeners. Bet Online put up some new markets. I haven't seen this. First, any value in the FCS champion market, low limits, but anything in the first coach fired, Pittman 5-1 seems good. I have not bet futures FCS. Now I'll have to get with you. I have bet probably 10 or 12 FCS games. I've kept it really super in-house quiet, but that's all I bet in FCS so far.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm taking a look at some of the future stuff. Usually don't get into those until like about playoff time.
I mean, I'm never going to release FCS power rankings, but I can tell you right now that top 5 is exactly what I have top 5. South Dakota State's 1. I actually have Montana State 2. We'll talk more about that because obviously they play this week. I think people are stunned. I'm not stunned that they're big favorites over New Mexico. Montana, North Dakota State 3, and North Dakota State 3, Montana 4, Villanova 5. So somebody's on top of it. Somebody knows what they're doing there. There isn't parity in the FCS. I think there's a clear top 4. Villanova, I mean, they gave South Dakota State a game last year, but that's it. I mean, there's no parity in FCS football.
That's what you took the words out. That's where I was going to go with it. This feels very college football of 4 or 5 years ago when like you going into the season, there was like 4 teams that could win it. That's basically the FCS level. So I would say don't waste your money on any long shots there and wait till the playoff bracket before you want to place anything.
And I still have South Dakota State, even though I downgraded their power rating. They're still 4 or 5 points better than anybody else. So I'm not looking to bet long shots there. Charles also asked, he mentioned the Pittman. Have you bet that market? I've seen that up at a couple places. The first coach.
No, the college football, I think that's a better market in the NFL, where you can get some concrete news and like bye weeks when guys are going to get. College football, you never really know when someone's going to get, and some schools just aren't going to can somebody mid-year. You know, no, I haven't. That's not one I like. I think that's more of a market I like to get into in the NFL than college football.
So I got a sneaky one for you. If they leave it up on Saturday next week, what game?
I already know where you go with this.
Yeah. So if they leave the market up, I shouldn't even be saying this. The loser of the Florida-Miami game, I would be maybe interested in, especially if there's a stupid decision by one of them that cost them the game. Then that seat will get hot quickly. So right around 7:00 on next Saturday, 7:00 Eastern, that'd be a market I'd look at maybe, because I think they become the favorite there. Pittman deservedly right now. Charles also. Oh, I'm looking here. We doing you know what? this we're going to probably tie in with a parlay. We're going to be doing some new stuff because of the FanDuel sponsorship. So we'll be doing a parlay, money line. We'll, something like that, round robin.
Yeah, we will definitely be doing that. I don't know, like for week 0 with a few, select there probably, but week 1 we will definitely have something.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not enough options, and we'll see. I mean, there's some FCS games, and I'm looking my chops. There's one in particular I'm looking to bet. They got to put up the lines. Austin in the chat. Hey guys, any thoughts on Syracuse minus 17 still playable against Ohio? Nah, I'm passing at 17. What do we give it out? 15.5?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I'd actually be at flat 17. I think I would go maybe half unit or however you do it. I'd still play some flat. I think it's got a little bit of room, but especially.
Oh, you still think it's got a little room?
I mean, most places are. I think you've seen few places trade 18, some 17.5. So if you got a flat 17 minus 110, I think that's still okay. But other than that, yeah, nothing too crazy.
Or you can watch our MAC preview where we gave out Syracuse.
There you go. There you go.
Dylan in the chat. I know you guys both have Texas in your top 5 your power ratings, but both seem low on them. Is that strictly relative to market? Or do you think there's more serious issues? I think it's a little bit of both. It's certainly relative to market. I mean, the market was treating this team. I don't know, because I mean, we both had them in their top 5, and yet, I mean, under 10.5 wins was screaming for me. It's just a tougher schedule. If you look what made Texas great last year, the best Texas team in 15 years. Them 2 pair of defensive tackles that they had that separated them from the rest of the pack. They no longer have those 2 guys. They're elite wide receiver core. They no longer, have a guy that can take you out, beat you over the top, and Xavier Worthy. So losing guys like that, and then cluster injuries already at running back. So yeah, I'm still down on Texas as we speak right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to say down relative to like their initial stuff came out almost as like you would have them in like a number 2 rated type of team. And I think 10.5 just kind of based on some of the games and the way they line up. And also I think the opportunity was there in a few of those games, whether it be game of the year, that just lines that were we thought were inflated. Getting Michigan at home as a 4-point dog to Texas, getting Texas A&M as a 3.5, 4.5 point dog to Texas. There, it just kind of lined up where you're getting that a couple of really nice spots to fade them as a road chalk over a field goal against a really, really good football team. So I think that was more fit. So and I don't think either of us are big Quinn Ewers in terms of Quinn Ewers guys thinking he's an elite quarterback type of player. So, yeah, some of it from there.
Sean Higgs with the super chat. I think this is his second one. Big super chat. 73 bucks.
Third. Sean, I'm thinking number 3.
Wow. $1 for all the people waiting and the producers behind the scenes. Sean, we appreciate it. Going strictly to the new producers. We got, obviously, Zach Phillips is the producer extraordinaire, but we got some more people behind the scenes. And we appreciate that $73, Sean. And that's not your first rodeo. Man, really appreciate that.
A legend. Shawnee Higgs, baby. A legendary hit the books, beer. We love him.
Yeah. I'm sorry, folks. He's our best guy. I know we got a bunch of guys that are active, but, he puts the money where his mouth is. So,
yeah, he definitely took Vivian out of the top 10. Yeah, I got Higgs, 3 spots, and then giving him all 3. Then Vivian's out.
No, he's South Dakota State of the show. He's favored over everybody by a margin now. Speaking of Sean, I see we need a walking Knish in a tank top from now on. I see you're doing a bunch of videos.
Apparently the walk and bets videos are taking off here, but usually you have to have different assets to get those to blow up than that. So, but hey, maybe Joey Tank Top it's got don't call it a comeback, baby. We'll see.
Yeah, you're doing that. I see you went on a couple rants over the weekend. You're in mid-season form.
People. I got people ask. I probably had a dozen people ask me if I'm drinking caffeine again. And I said, no, I'm high on life, baby. This is college football is back.
Them endorphins kicking in. You're walking, you're swimming, doing a bunch of stuff. You're taking flights. We finally see you in the flesh. What is this guy? I don't even know who he is.
I was good. You add some caffeine on top of that. I might cure cancer. I might be like that seed in the moon where all the numbers are floating around, and I'm just like it's all coming together. I'm like, Brad, we're 30-0 this week. I can't. I finally solved life.
Can we just have a week where we go like 7 or 8-0? Oh
I
my
know.
God. We need to win this year. We really do. I see someone's making comments. Oh, I can't wait to watch the show. Look at the units. Whatever. Fade away. I don't care. Unbelievable. I think I would not do that this year. I'm just letting you know. Trevor in the chat. Can you guys take a look at the passing receiving season-long props on FanDuel? Really like Concepcion. He's the NC State receiver over 725 with its scheme and a new veteran quarterback. I see it at a few books, including FanDuel. Have you been betting? I know you got your guy franchise.
Yeah. So this is on me. I will take an action for the midweek show to have. We bet one yesterday. And it was
There's no midweek show. You mean Friday?
That's Friday show. The Friday show. I'm calling it the Friday show. Now, well, midweek because now we got a Saturday show. So now right. It's up. But the Friday show. Well, I bet a lot of these, but at a different book. FanDuel just put theirs up. I will say last night we bet. Let me make sure it's still the same. This will be a little bonus action from the man himself with the franchise KF. Nussmeier over the 277.5 the passing yard. So the LSU's quarterback Garrett Nussmeier to go over that 277 550 or 5.5. So yeah, if that wets your whistle there's a little bonus season long play.
There you go. Mark it down, put it in the file.
That's one that again you're kind of betting on health there. If he stays healthy, he's going to go over that number. Just the way they do offense, the way they throw, they're not going to be a running the ball team. So that's when if he plays the requisite 12 games, you got an under there. You're kind of betting on a health play.
As far as Concepcion, man, I don't do player projections. I don't even do fantasy, so it's not my wheelhouse. I will say that he was the main guy last year, and you think, okay, he was, and he's still probably the alpha in the room, and they're going to throw a lot more. They got more of a capable quarterback. They got other weapons. That Rutgers kid from Ohio State, Jolly, the tight end from Connecticut. Man, I don't think that's a slam dunk. We'll have to get back with you on that. I don't originate those numbers.
Yeah, that's – how many
got up? Like, this is unbelievable. I bet your boy franchise is licking his chops. I was looking at one of the other books. There was like 50 players up. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's a different time nowadays, baby. But yeah, FanDuel's came through. That was the only one. I think they honestly did a good job on a lot of the quarterback. The Concepcion, you know what? I'll get back to I agree. I think the number's a touch up, but
what did we have last year?
Yeah, what did he finish with last year?
He was their only guy at the skill position last year.
Yeah. So now, I agree. They added a little bit more.
839. So I see why it seems like it's a slam dunk. He was over 100 yards over it last year, and they got a better quarterback and a better offense, but they just got more weapons around him. All right. We'll get back to that one.
Yep.
Charles in the chat. We riled up some Big Ten fan bases. Oh, this is more on you tweeting between Iowa and Rutgers. Which team do you think has a better chance to average 20 points a game? Rutgers.
Yeah, Chuck. Yes. And I again, we not like the Rutgers keep, but Rutgers has a lot of infrastructure outside of quarterback that Iowa just doesn't have. I think they've got one decent wide receiver, tight end, but yeah, if you're looking for positive takes on Iowa, you're not going to find them on Joey K. This team's going to have to win, basically pull a repeat of last year for me to say anything nice about it. And then I still won't say anything nice because it'll cost me a lot of money at that point.
That's the one team where I just have really disagreed with the market this summer, Iowa. If you watch the Big Ten preview show, check that out. And as far as that fan, I don't think it was a Big Ten fan. I just think it was a goof on the internet. I know that you went to town on him. Kudos.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he was. Yeah, I don't think that was
I don't even know he's trying to bet. We were just saying we don't think Rutgers is an 8 or 9 win team. What's he want to bet? He wants to bet us, $100 grand. He's going to go over 7.5. A win off the market? Sure, let's take the bet.
Right.
I mean, that's what we said.
Well, go 100K if you give me the right number. We didn't even bet it. We didn't even bet the Rutgers. Like it was like
I bet over on there. I bet over 5.5, over 6 wins. We were just saying that this team had the capability of winning 8, 9 games with the right quarterback. It wasn't even a negative take on Rutgers. I like Rutgers outside of quarterback this year. Ryan in the chat. Yep, I knew we'd get to this. Montana State getting smashed. 10.5 for New Mexico. Is it a buy point? No. I think if the market has guts, I think it goes higher. I think eventually we'll get a buyback on New Mexico, but it's not right now, I don't think. I mean, if you power rate FCS, and I do, this number still can climb. And even I see my good old buddy Bill Connolly has this game 14. Just to show you, it's we tried to tell you like 6 weeks ago. We said, hey, this we laid it, and everyone was like, well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's going. Ryan in the chat. Where did you guys get most team news insider info? 247 X? Yeah, probably those two, to be honest with you.
It's kind of a conglomeration of 24/7, Twitter, X. There's still some schools have some beat people out there. Like some places have beats. Some people have school info. You get
a lot less have beats than 10 years ago.
Yeah. So, and just general, like there's some. This is if you've got to be around for a while. Some message boards, team message boards, have people that are like that have been established and been around for a while. You in most cases, you're not going to know how they get their info. It might be like, the AD's nephew or something that like wants to feel important online. So sometimes message boards, you get some good stuff. So, but it really, there is no like one stop shop.
I agree. You got to sift through a lot of shit, but sometimes message boards are breaking first to break, and then have a good network. You'll send me a message. I'll send other people, have stuff like that. That's awesome. It's tough to catch everything. Ryan in the chat, is there a quarterback in the Big Ten you trust to win big games besides Dylan Gabriel? Oh, wow. That's a good question.
That is a good question.
I don't know if there is. Is there?
That is a very good question.
Big games. Yeah. Penn State kid I can't trust yet. Miller Moss. No, I don't know yet. Lincoln, I guess I trust Lincoln Riley's offensive system.
Yeah.
There isn't a single one, I don't think. Hence why, if you watch the Big Ten show, we took a little Oregon to win the Big Ten. We laid -300 Oregon to win to at least make the playoff. So, boom.
You know what? It's fun. Who would be your number 2 rate? Even you take trust. Who'd be your number 2 rated quarterback in the Big Ten overall
right now? Miller Moss.
I was gonna say. I know, and most people would have. I think
seen it. I trust Lincoln Riley's system, and I just saw him, throw 6 touchdown passes.
So. If he's healthy, number 3, I might go Curtis Rourke.
Oh, gee.
Okay. I mean, I like him.
I'm anxious to see what Drew does at Penn State with Kotelnicki as offense coordinator. I mean, he protected the football, but he didn't do it. I mean, he didn't even try to throw it down the field last year. So to be determined there. I will get a good look at Penn State. Boy, no one's talked about that game, man. That's a really intriguing game at West Virginia, week 1. We'll get a good idea, at least that one. Where are we at here? Charles in the chat again.
People, Jack Tuttle's in the chat there. Yeah.
Jack Tuttle. He's gonna be holding the clipboard.
Unfortunately, if you didn't watch the Big Ten preview or following the Michigan news, Tuttle got hurt. He was hurt in the spring. He got hurt again in the fall. Nothing, I think, long term, but I don't think he'll be your starter game 1 versus Fresno.
Live in the chat, Miller Moss 40-1 win the Heisman. No, I don't think your SC wins enough. Aiden Childs, that's a pretty good off the beaten path.
The Sparty. If Michigan State had any players on the roster, people have been talking. I think he will. I think he'll put up
eventually.
Some
I think next year, he might end up being the best there. So RW Fan 23, kudos. That's off the beaten path. Yeah, I think if he just had a little bit more help around him, that would be a really good answer there.
Yeah.
Joey K getting some love from the Cougars. We need answers about the tweet today.
TBD. TBD, Chuck. We'll have to. You might have to come back for that one. We'll keep that in pocket, and as a little teaser.
We'll have to, save. We'll have to do a couple. The Saturday show, we're gonna go halftime at one of the games. Not a set time, but maybe we'll say that for one of the night games that we do one of these days. Answers like that. Little Joey after dark. Stephen Robinson in the chat. Everyone should practice bankroll management. Absolutely. Having said that, I'll be betting each week 0 game is opposite with the Super Bowl. Yeah, I hear you. I'll be betting the FCS games if they come out just right. I can tell you that. But I can be honest with you, I don't have anything on the Florida State Georgia Tech game yet. I didn't bet Delaware State Hawaii because everyone else. I'm not looking at the screen. Some people were laying 27.5. I guess is where it was. But that's about right now. The only thing I have in pocket right now is Montana State. That's it. That's sad. Oh no, I got SMU too.
And that's where, you know what? Why bury the lead? I think our friends at FanDuel have the only 26.5 in the market on SMU.
You're laying it?
I'm laying it. I know if you've been watching over the summer, we've laid it at some bet. I'm still okay laying the 26.5. It's the only one out there. I just think Nevada, especially, I know they're starting Brendan Lewis, who I just think is terrible. I know that I think that Chubba Purdy would have been an upgrade. Apparently, you banged up per some of the news that came up today. And again, neither of those options is great. But
we're laying 26.5.
Yeah.
Well, hit the books off to a fun start. Like 4 touchdowns on the road. I hear you.
And that one's just as far as best number in the market. It's your only 26.5 out there. I think this is closing around the 28 range.
All right. I don't disagree. I don't see any buyback coming in on Nevada anytime soon, unless it crosses 28. That has been the biggest. If you've been following it, whether it's week 0 or
there it goes.
Somebody hit it already. There you go.
There it goes. You got to be quick with the trigger. That's why you watch the live show, folks.
Yep. Got to watch the live show. I already moved the point to that very key number 27. I hope it falls 27. That'd be a good feather in your cap. Man, if you follow week 0 or week 1, any of the games, that's been the biggest mover. Opened as low as 18.5. My goodness. Ryan in the chat. And I'm just going to apologize in advance, guys. We're not going to get to everybody today. It looks like you guys were active. We'll try to go a little longer, but we're not going to get to everybody in the chat today as far as questions. Do you like, dislike, or no opinion on each of these 3 conference win totals? Cincinnati over 2.5 -130. Ohio State under 8 -110. Stanford over 1.5 -120. Kentucky over 3 -105. I haven't bet any of them yet. Buckeye game, I guess, would push, but my pure math numbers would say a little under there. I guess Stanford over 1.5 -120. I guess.
The problem I would say my only argument with the Stanford one is I like the reason we like the Stanford win total is mostly because of their non-con. And I know that win it's up like a win, but they have TCU, which we think they're live, Cal Poly, and then San Jose State, 3 as far as non-conference games. So I mean they should win 2 of those and a third. So I kind of like the regular Stanford win total, depending on what you're getting, price you're getting. So that would be I don't know. I would be neutral on that Stanford one.
That'd be the one I would bet. Because we still technically we're looking for TCU would still be an upset. So we need them to win 2. We bet over 3.5 and give it out on the show. We're basically calling for 2 conference wins. Are we not?
Yeah. No, that's fair. I would go. I mean,
right here, and then they'll beat T. And then what'll happen. They'll beat T.
It go 3-0 to start, and then finish 4-0. Yeah,
I hear you. I I still would bet over 1.5 there. I haven't bet that yet. I don't know why. I'm like looking through my paperwork to see why I haven't bet that. Probably because I've already bet over 3.5. It's kind of a similar bet. Wake Forest, I think they can win that game. It's at home. I even got in favor there. Stanford for me on that one. Brendan in the chat. Some rumblings that PJ Fleck flirted with UCLA and agents have made some calls. Joe Rossi jumped ship. Do we still feel good week 1? Well, he brings up some good points. I hear your buddy Tailgate wants.
I know.
He wants North Carolina, man.
Some people lurking in the weeds about that. Yeah, to me that was more of an. I'm not going to sell you on the the row the boat being the best programmer. That was more of a North Carolina fade for me against a team that is much more physical, against a defense that I don't believe in UNC, with a quarterback system that the Max Johnson was the big transfer, and all the reports out of camp were that they're going to go quarterback by committee to see who can win the job during the season. So, and I think Minnesota is going to do exactly.
They can run the football.
Yeah, they're going to.
They got a guy that's capable of play action pass, actually complete passes, the tight ends and the receivers. So they're the more trustworthy commodity. I hear you on that. So no, I haven't gotten scared on that one yet. Charles in the chat, any FCS week 01 you guys can vaguely hint at without ruining the party? No.
We got to wait on that one.
Yeah, we got to wait.
I always got people
I can say this. I have taken a lot more. I've taken a lot of FCS teams. I have not been laying it with the FanDuel has like 30 games up. I can tell you most of the bets I made are on the dog. That should be good for you. Fabulous one. I'll give you one. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not. I bet more dogs than favorites. That's all I'll say. Fabulous one. Happy week 0, guys. Where does the love for Montana State end? Yeah, we talked about this. It ain't stopping at 10. The love ends maybe when the public gets involved on game day. They're going to be stunned. But I think I could see us going 13. I don't know if we hit 14. I think that's certainly be some buyback. But I think we're more likely to go up from right now. Peter in the chat, hitting FSU if it gets a flat 10. Yeah, I would minus 10 is a go for me there.
Yep. And
I agree with what you said earlier in the show. I think we'll see it eventually. I don't know if man, you said 9.5. I'll tell you what, you let me know when you see that. I would. So I don't know. We did actually. We saw a little bit of buyback today on Florida State. Did you see that? Went to 11. There were few places we're going back to 11.5. Not FanDuel though.
Yep.
No, they're 10.5. I would lean Florida State there. D-Lee 23 in the chat. When do we buy Nevada? Got to go to 28.5. We don't. If you just followed us and you got in early, SMU. Joe in the chat. How much do you think A&M's offense will be able to move the ball against Notre Dame's defense? Seems like that matchup isn't getting enough attention, overshadowed by Notre Dame's offensive line situation. Yeah, that's why I like the under more than anything. I mean, I agree with the move on A&M because, Notre Dame doesn't win these games. Atmosphere, temperature, the Notre Dame offensive line against A&M's defensive line. I get all that, but you're right. I think Notre Dame's defense is going to get after A&M. And boy, if you read the practice reports, they have not been flattering about A&M's offense, the Texas A&M. So the old tout service gave out under. That would be my preference in this game. Now, am I running to bet under 46.5 when I gave it out at 49? No, but I'd still lean that way. We're in for a rock fight. I think 20-17.
Yeah, I agree with you in terms of it being an absolute slog. I'm a little bit more optimistic on the A&M. I know some of the practice reports haven't been glowing. I'm taking that with a little bit of a grain of salt. I'm a little bit more optimistic on.
So you're betting A&M. You going to go best bet A&M?
I liked it a lot better at when we were talking about it on the show. And some of the this one is like points at a premium there. I don't want to do.
Well, wait. We'll come back to this one.
See if there's some buyback on
folks. There. We'll come back. I got a lot of thoughts on this game, so we'll talk at length on that game. I'm kind of torn. Sky has fallen. Chicken Little says A&M's clearly the right side. I got some other thoughts though that are a little bit more pro Notre Dame. Zach in the chat says 360 live viewers, only 166 likes. Come on. I don't have to be Einstein to figure it out. Hit that like button if you're watching, folks. Need a more equal distribution there. Just hit the like button. That's all you can do. Thank you for watching, though. Make sure you hit like and just subscribe. Joe, is there any reasonable scenario you take Delaware State as a stinky road dog against Hawaii? Man, just to put in perspective, you don't follow FCS football. Delaware State's perennially a bottom 10. I almost said top 10. Bottom 10 FCS program. I don't see it. I just they could be just that bad. I mean, Hawaii cannot play a good game and still just crush them.
Yeah, that's kind of, it's getting in that range of where, you're going to be.
What do you need to bet? I mean, I need like 42.5 just for shits and giggles.
Was just going to say that. Yeah.
The good news is it's the Hawaii start time, midnight. So, I mean, we are loaded all day week 0. We only have 7 games, but man, we are loaded for 12 plus hours of great act. I love it. So I miss that. Don't you miss that? That used to be special. The bailout game being Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
We don't get that much anymore.
The old settle up game. Put it all on the island.
Yeah. Luke in the chat. Any insight into UNLV Houston? Sneakily, I like the Cougars. Well, you'd be alone because it's been all UNLV money all summer. I'm very anti-Houston. So I think I'll just say this. I mean, that's a pretty big game that's not getting enough love. Big swing game for both teams. There's a reason why I crossed through 3, and it's not because I was betting 5 dimes on it. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously, UNLV. I'm not as down on Houston as some.
You want to go head to head on the win total? 3.5?
Give me one. You know what? Hold on one sec.
Yeah, you look at that.
Yeah, they got my. Yeah, they do play my Rice and other.
Where's the wins, man? Easiest game is Rice.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's not a lot of layups.
Beat them last year.
Well, maybe we'll talk Friday.
All right, we'll talk there.
Over.
I'm telling you, I love Willie Fritz. I hate this schedule. Ooh. I mean, they're gonna have to pull some upsets, even to get to 4. They're going to have to pull at least 2 upsets to get to 4 and take care of business in this UNLV game, which that's not a slam dunk. And the Rice game is not a slam dunk. There's not one slam dunk win on this schedule. I think Oklahoma's their other non-conference. Not good. Spencer, well, good if Knish decides to go against me. Maybe I'll throw him a bone. He's at a disadvantage. I say that, and he'll probably win every bet against me. Spencer in the chat, thoughts on Old Dominion, South Carolina, under 54.5. Reports say Gamecocks D is legit. Offense may not want to show much before Kentucky in week 2. Yeah, our good old buddy, friend of the show, gave out under there. I can understand that.
Yeah, same. I don't know if I'm buying. This would be the last buy number would be 54.5 there. I wouldn't even at 54. I wouldn't touch. But if you got a 54 and a hook, that'd be the last. Yeah, no 53.5.
No 53.5. I still would lay it with the side. I gave out the old tout service, gave out South Carolina on the side. I could see him. I know we're wanting to bet under on a big favorite. I mean, that doesn't correlate, but I like South Carolina at the current number.
The talk, I mean, it's just talk, but I think that the South Carolina quarterback and defense, I saw some, stuff going around there that
I did too.
We feel pretty confident in both those. So we will see.
Problem is, it's just all talk right now. I'm ready to get the games going, man.
Yeah.
Especially, I prefer hearing negative talk this time of year because I hear nothing but good. Oh, positive. This guy looks good. This guy looks good. This totally everybody agree. Looks good. Come on.
Everybody looks good in the fall camp, unless you're Iowa.
Yeah, that is the one thing that caught my eye when I saw how negative the reports were on Iowa. Made us feel pretty good, didn't it? To be outliers. It's us. It's that meme. It's us with the sword against the incoming army of Iowa money. I'd rather be the guy with the sword. Who's more likely to bottom out, miss a bowl, Wazoo or Oregon State? Well, I don't think either bottom out and miss a bowl. Their schedules are so much easier than what they faced last year in the Pac-12. So even though both teams have big time turnover, Oregon State a little bit more turnover. Their offense, I've not heard good things about. But I've heard their defense is functional. I mean, You think I think both make a bowl game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. The step down in competition is it's significant from probably the best rendition of the Pac-12 we've seen in some time to the
Mountain West.
Mountain Web,
Yeah.
the pseudo Mountain West team. So yeah, I'm with you there. I would pick Oregon State though of the teams that I think could bottom out a little more. Especially just you lose Jonathan Smith takes some a couple of pieces with him. Lost a lot more in a transfer portal. So, I just think that brand of Smith ball that they were kind of in the program, it's kind of, I think you can fall off pretty quickly when he's not there.
David in the chat, yeah, we talk Florida State. We lean Florida State. We'll talk more about that game at length on the Friday show. Mr. Roboto 6, what's up with this UMass Eastern Michigan line move? 4-point swing in a week. South Alabama down to 5 North Texas now. Feels too far low. I'll say this. Do I want to say this? I don't know. Yeah, it's a market influencer. And I just, you can be anti-tout, anti-pick buying. But, man, if you want to understand the market moves, get in front of moves and stuff like that, there's a few services out there that, I mean, if you want to be legit about this and want to follow the moves and understand, hey, why that move? Was it an injury or somebody released something or whatnot? If you have the bankroll, do it. I mean, I don't know why people wouldn't want that information. Why is this line moving? Why is this line moving? Hell, I subscribe to 10 or 12 guys, whether I really like the guy or not. If they move markets, I want to know why the market was moved. Do you agree or disagree with that?
No, I definitely agree with that. And it gets a bad rap because 99% of the other is crap. If you're going to go in some Discord and be buying SGPs, then yeah, you're going to get frustrated in that. But yeah, if you're interested, for the people that usually watch this show and tune in and stuff and want to get into, so we can give you as much info as we have as far as why stuff is moving. But I agree, the more knowledge you have of why things moving or who's moving it, even if you disagree with it, but if
use it to your advantage. If you think the guy's an effing idiot, play against it. Then why would you? Right. Oh, this guy's on this. He sucks. Let's go with the opposite way. Yeah. So,
but I agreed with both of his play at the original prices. I wouldn't go any for I wouldn't be betting UMass -3 or North Texas at 5. So those are one of those. I agreed with both sides of where he got them. Not anymore. Play bet.
I like the UMass one more. I personally like the UMass one more. Touchdown my pants. Can we get some week 0 Nishi moles for God's sake? What are the What's a mole?
I wish. I don't think I have any insight in any of these 4 week 0. Maybe let me call my buddy in Hawaii, see if he can get down and give a maybe Delaware State comes with 30 guys because they couldn't afford to bring the whole team. So yeah, that we'll see if we got anything for the Friday show, but I don't have anything juicy for the Friday show. I'll give you some player props for a Friday show.
And hopefully they got those 3 FCS versus FCS games up. There's one I like quite a bit. At the right number. I'm not GRP. Yeah. I bet numbers, not teams. Michigan State, FAU under 46.5. Don't like Fancher. FAU limits explosives. Smith did the same at Oregon State. I haven't bet anything yet on that total. If anything, I could see myself coming around to Sparty.
I don't.
Where are you at?
I know what you're saying with the limits explosive there last year. I don't love either of these. And I know it's come down. This is one that opened around 50.5, 49, 48. You're going through a lot of key numbers now where I don't know. I think this Michigan State defense sucks. So this is Smith team that I agree. I think Aiden Childs and the tight they're going to have to score some points to cover this number and get over. So I just think it might not be your classic Jonathan Smith year 1 type of brand of football. I mean, maybe he institutes and they just don't care, but I don't think their personnel to run that slow Smith. We're going to run the ball. They don't really have that type of player. So I'm interested to see what it looks like, to be honest with you. I haven't got involved in that game either way because I don't I'm not sure what we're seeing. Is he going to go with what he has in terms of personnel, or is he going to, go with where we're going to implement the system and if this, no matter what happens?
That's a game I got to watch to get a feel. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
FAU, I know it's year 2 for Herman, but that roster is basically a new roster again
Right.
the second year. So that's one way you just take, unless it goes down to 10. Lay it. Unless it goes up, it's in no man's land there for me. Alex in the chat, feel like having a square New Mexico plus 9.5. How does Mendenhall get smoked in that game? Montana State might be that much better. I just don't think the market, when they don't understand. Like, I give you examples. Like last year, Idaho was like a 6-point favorite over Nevada. They smashed Nevada. I just don't think people rack their brains around an FCS school being favored or an FBS school. But
I think our guy, he's done some work for the Happer. John, oh my God, I'm not going to get his Twitter. John Fendler, on Twitter here. He's done some stuff from Bessent. This would be the largest FCS fave over an FBS school since they started track, like in history. So at the current number and higher, it would be basically the largest.
It's going to close that way. It's going to close that way.
So
I think the other one, I saw that tweet. Sacramento State smashed Colorado State. I think North Dakota State was favored at Arizona, lost a close game. So it's not like they've lost outright in these roles. They've actually, I think there's some suppression sometimes on them because people don't want to lay it with the FCS school. How are we looking at the SMU game? You guys know the answer to that. We gave out SMU. Thoughts on Charlotte plus 7 against James Madison. Lost quarterback from last year, tons of receiver. Defense cleaned out. Lots of FCS kids on the roster. Doesn't feel like 7 separates these teams. I just think you're too late to party. 11 was out there. So where are you at there? I agree with the move on Charlotte, but just because it's out there, you don't have to bet it now. It's just numbers do matter. And if you don't, I did some preseason work. I know people, if you like, this is the NFL preseason, but just to show you that numbers matter. And I do this for college football, and I'll put up some stuff because I've been tracking it for 3-4 years. It's like night and day. If you just look at it and say, oh, let's 5 minutes before kick. Let's play with this, chase the steam. I look at anything that moved over 3 points. Let somebody know something about this game. Let's play it at the bad numbers. You'd be 8-18 in the NFL preseason, chasing the 26 biggest moves. 8-18, not good. So don't be chasing. And that gets back to, I'll just say this: if James Madison wins by 8, I'm gonna be happy with the Charlotte ticket. You wouldn't be. I will be. They're at 7.5. Look, that's a good example. Shop around. Obviously, hook on a key number 7. Even though you're playing a little bit of juice there, shop around. You get 7.5. I think it closes 7 though, don't you?
Yep, I would agree. I think it's kind of been shaped already. Nothing really intriguing in that for me where it's at.
Probably get to maybe 10 more here. We'll try to do rapid fire. Miller Moss 41 to win the Heisman, not in pocket. I just don't think SC's going to win enough games. Were you there? Have you made that bet?
I might have a small sliver of that.
You did? Huh. I'm going to mark that down.
Someone is a little higher on than I'll tell you. I don't know if there's a bigger USC fan than me at the moment. I think they're I bet over the win total. I bet them in some game of the years, and I sprinkled that. I agree with you. I don't love it. But because I think that, cap out 8-9 win. But yeah, I sprinkled that. Wouldn't go nuts, but yeah, I did put a little bit on that.
There you go. Look at him. Does Bama make the college playoffs with a 9-3 record? That's a good question that I've been trying to ask myself because Alabama a plus sign. Will they make the playoffs? I kind of want to bet the yes because I think there is a chance that they can. It's so dependent on other schools and other teams. Is it 3 close losses? When did they? Is it close loss with Georgia? Like I would generally say 9-3 is not going to be good enough to get you in.
I think so, and especially if you have, you'd have to work it out. But like an SEC champ, the loser of the SEC championship game, another 2-loss SEC team, it's like if there's 4 2-loss or less SEC team, then there's no way. And then if you get to 9-3, then you're in the bin with, is there how many 2-loss or less Big Ten teams are there? So
yeah,
I don't know. It's a fascinating question because I can't wait to see that play out. Honestly, like I'm literally excited about the the 12-team playoff, what that looks like, who's getting in and saw that. But so I don't know. Whereas it's like we've never seen it happen. So
again, I think you get a better, like, say they lose to Georgia, but look really good. You're like, hell, this team can get better under first-year coach. They look this good in September against Georgia.
Yep.
Let's maybe bet them to make the playoffs then. So again, let's see what this market is. How many books are going to keep it up throughout the season? I'd like to know. I don't know yet. What I do know is that the answer to this question: how many bets does Brad have right now going into the season? I'm over 300. I'll be close to 400 by the time it starts. So love it. Well, this is what I live for. Brendan in the chat: Arkansas laying 50.5 against Pine Bluff. Pine Bluff's a bottom 5 FCS team. They're bad.
And those are one of those. It's just one of those. When do they call off the dog? Who do they put in? When those are the type of numbers that I don't love getting too involved in. Because
your math on my model is like 59, so it's already, I think, suppressed a little bit. Not interested there. Charles in the chat: Rice over 48.5, Oklahoma State over 54. I'll probably lean a little bit more on the Rice one than the Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I would agree.
We'll talk more totals. Let's get to game week. I don't want to, especially when I'll bet an under at any time, but I don't like betting a lot of overs unless the number's just way off. Again, because you can get just 15-mile-an-hour wind, 20-mile-an-hour wind. Just let's get the game week there. Florida State doesn't look good. The plus 22 for Boston College. Thoughts on that? I could see that. It's just so much. I'd like to see how the market overreacts or underreacts to the Florida State game. So did I bet BC already? I did. I think anything over 21 is okay there. But
did you really?
I did. You disagree?
Man,
so I'll give you specific why.
Okay.
Number one, number obviously starts the power rating. I'm at like 20.5. I don't like. I bet against Georgia Tech too, even though I hate Georgia State as a team this year. I mean, the trip back from Ireland is, playing again. And plus, I've tweeted this out last couple of years. It's better to have film than actually play the game. You have film on your opponent. And Florida State, Georgia Tech, they're going to have to show some stuff. I mean, they're not playing an FCS school. They're going to have to put some stuff on tape that's actually good stuff. So Bill O'Brien, I know a lot of people don't like him. I think he'll be able to analyze the tape from the Georgia Tech game, have a couple things up his sleeve. BC almost beat Florida State last year. Remember that game?
Yeah. No, I think Boston College-wise, I'm a little bit more optimistic about what their offense could be. I think their defense is really bad still, really bad.
All right,
and I don't like.
You're betting the over.
Yeah, I would agree. We'll talk more about that.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's keep it rolling here. Let's get to a Michigan question. Donovan Edwards, Heisman. Whoa, somebody like that. They called me on it. You like that or no?
No, there's two. They have too many good running backs, to be honest with you. And the system, they give it to a bunch of guys. So I think Donovan Edwards got a really nice year. He's not going to win the Heisman.
Colorado State plus 35. Sark, you can see 90-1 there. I think there's some other numbers out there. Sark comes out flat as a big favorite. I agree with that. Here's my issue. Here's why I can't bet it. Arch comes in, they're going to run the offense.
Yeah.
So I don't like that.
Neither of us are that high. I tell you, if I wanted,
we don't like you and I don't like Colorado State.
I know.
We gave out under 6.5.
I think I would lean, and this is early. I think I would lean more to, if I wanted a Colorado State position in this game, wait till the team
35.5. I think you take. Is this one of your half?
This I think this is one of the only 35. Let me hold on. I got the old board up.
We're gonna take this.
I was gonna say I kind of like there's also a couple of hooks.
All right, then we'll wait.
Yeah, let's wait. I was gonna say I think I like the position of Colorado State team total over in this one as opposed to a 35 point. So we'll see what happens. We'll see where it lands.
I did bet the over in the game. That was one of the few overs I bet when it came out. I think Texas defense taking a step back this year. Offense, we'll see. Again, the offense in a game like this, Arch will come in and they'll still run some offense. ETN for Georgia suspended week 1. Any line effect? I've heard whispers about this from other people. Have you heard this?
Yeah. I don't. Do you really think it? I don't think that's.
No.
I
think it might impact the market. Does it move it really for me? I know they lost their top 2 backs from last year, but I mean, just running backs in that system don't mean much. They got that one physical freak kid. What's his name? Like Branson Robinson.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like a 30-year-old bodybuilder, and he's only a true sophomore. So I mean, they got Roderick Robinson. Yeah, I don't. ETN's a good back, but I don't know if he's moving.
Yeah.
That's one where I'm just not interested right now in that one. We'll talk more as we get closer to that game. Dylan Gabriel, 60-1 for number 1 pick of the NFL draft. Worth the sprinkle. This is from Jordan. Have you bet anything in that market yet?
No,
I don't think he's not a number 1 pick.
No, that's if he would have. Let me put it this way: he would be in the NFL by now if he was going to be like if he had that type of profile. He would have basically went last year. So I don't.
Excellent point.
Yeah, I don't think he just doesn't have. I think the NFL skill set to go number 1 overall. He'll be drafted, I think, at some point, but not first.
Here's some Knishi moles. Curtis Rourke packed on some pounds this summer. Saw him today at the stadium. I went to the stadium in the spring. He looked okay. That's a team. Another team I want to see. This is getting ahead of ourselves. FIU game will show me some. I think week 2 they're at UCLA. First-year coaches, roster turnovers. That'll be a really good game to get a barometer of what those 2 teams can be. Connor in the chat. How big is too big for Colorado, North Dakota State? Seeing a 10 out there. I think the money's going to come in Colorado. So if you want to bet North Dakota State, don't be an idiot like me and bet it like 3-4 months ago at 7.5, 9.5. Wait, I think you're going to get a better number.
You think it gets better in 10?
It could. Yeah, you got to remember. I mean, public's going to want to bet, Deion. I don't know, man, but there's just so many people that want to probably fade him in that game. I think it goes to 10.
I'd say, somewhere between, 9.5 and 7.5 at close. That's kind of where it's been trading for a while. So that's not a super hot take, but I
have some stronger thoughts on this game. Again, we got to get there. I don't want to say we're already impacting markets on stuff. I got to keep my mouth shut sometimes, but yeah, I'll probably be more heavily involved on something on that game. Trip in the chat, Elon plus 23.5 at Duke. Elon playable at that number. That's not one that I bet. I mentioned I bet like 10 games, most of them dogs. That's not one that I bet. Again, we'll talk more about that. Kudos. I'm going to give a plug for FanDuel. They got these up. I was on vacation. We haven't talked about this. I was on the top. I was in Lake Tahoe at the top of the ski lift there, 10,000 foot. And I'm getting this text from you. Hey, FanDuel just opened up 25 games, FCS games. I'm like, that figures. I would be literally where I'm at. So secluded, nothing. I told you, I got nothing, man. I'll look it over quickly, and I got nothing. So I don't think there's anything that I thought, oh, my God, this is like 10 points off.
Yeah,
got to bet this. There was none of that. So the stuff that I bet, I just have full disclosure, I thought was 3 points off, 4 points off. So there was nothing like slam dunk, open order, get down in the kiosk, keep it quiet type of thing. None of that. Dylan Gabriel, a lot of Gabriel talk. Plus 125 most passing yards in the Big Ten. Or Moss plus 350. What do you think about that?
I actually bet some Moss at a little higher price. 350s. I think I got 5-1 maybe. I'd probably be a meh on 350. I wouldn't bet the 125 either. You're in an 18-team conference. I'm not looking to bet the short prices on that. Even though we went through earlier that a lot of the we don't love a lot of the quarterbacks in the system. Guys can put up a bunch of garbage yards in a lot of games. So wouldn't go crazy there.
Malik Murphy, Heisman, Cam Newton 2.0. Yeah, we're not big.
Yeah,
nice
Steve, he's going to need to put out. He needs to put on some of that Curtis Rourke weight to get up to Cam Newton's size level there. We'll see what he has this year. I'm kind of excited to see him a little bit though.
You got anything else? So we gave out SMU. Was there another bet that you wanted to give out?
I don't think we'll have a little bit more of the derivative stuff for hopefully for the Friday show. But other than that, I mean, most of this stuff's been sitting there, for months now. So and we don't have any hot takes on any of the lines. But yeah, we'll hopefully have a couple maybe from first half, first quarter or something on a couple too. So all that stuff should be out by Friday.
And I'm waiting for some of the market influencers to start releasing stuff. I mean, you respect them, but also you keep in mind these lines have been out 3-4 months. So if the market overcorrects on some of these releases, that's when I'll start taking advantage. And obviously we have 61 FBS versus FCS games coming up. I think like 30 FCS versus FCS. So if a market like a book like FanDuel opens them up, I'll have some thoughts as we get closer to game week, to say the least. So that'll do it. I'm glad to be back. Chat, glad to be back. I thought it was a good first show. Again, SMU minus 26.5 and some other nuggets in there as well. You got anything else?
No, it was good. It was ripping. We will try and get to try and go as fast as we can on this Friday. It was a chat so active. We want to get to everybody said. Maybe we'll have I don't know. We have to see if Zach can keep a log there of the ones we don't get to. But hey, good start, and looking forward to the weekend, baby.
All right. For the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Knish. For producer extraordinaire, Zach Phillips, I'm merely Brad Powers. Thanks for all the comments and questions in the chat. Again, you just watched Hit the Books, part of the Hammer Betting Network, sponsored by FanDuel.